And there we go. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another fabulous Monday evening. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I, myself, did. I had a great weekend. We did a whole lot of nothing, which is great. I enjoy that. A little bit of nothing every once in a while is a great lot of something when you just need time to relax and have a mental break, you know? Tonight's session, as you guys can see from the title, we are calling this the Open Mic Discussions. It's going to be something where we started this last week, in a sense. And the idea would be that we're going to allow the Q&A sessions to basically be open. You guys can do !join to join during the chat, or join in chat the list. And once you get the list going, we will ask questions throughout the stream based on if you guys have any questions, comments, things that you want, tips, ideas, help with, anything like that. Please be sure to just, again, ask them in chat there and we can kind of go over them. So I want to say, Beaker, that I think my perception on TikTok might be slowly changing. My perception on the changes that TikTok has for content creators might be slowly changing. I'm looking at it a little more, and I'm investigating people who are integrating TikTok into their streaming content, and I'm seeing positive results. So it's definitely something interesting that I am not considering more, right? Like I personally, I don't think I have the patience. I don't think I have the talent. I don't think I have the strategy for TikTok. And then I have some personal objections to TikTok still based on their policies and the way they handle user data. But I will say that I think TikTok has come a long way. So I don't know. I used to say straight up that TikTok has no benefit to content creators. But or TikTok has no benefit to streamers. But I think that's changing. I think that's changing. So one thing that is slowly coming into mindset for me, and I've been looking on Twitter more, I've been reading other people's experiences, and what was a generic term for content creator? What got coined as a generic term for content creator in basically 2019. I'm on a roll tonight. 2019 and 2020. What got coined as content creator to encompass Twitter, streaming, YouTube, everything all together. I think the strategies for those are changing a lot right now. And part of that is going to be saying that I don't necessarily agree that streaming is content creation anymore. And that sounds really weird. That sounds really weird for me to say that, because I have been a huge advocate in my statement to transition the way I focus or talk about the culture, content, YouTube, streaming, all this other kind of stuff like that, right? Like, and trying to say we're all content creators. Like I've been a huge part of that, and I've been really trying to do that. And now I'm getting to this position of kind of separating those again. Like I feel like I'm going backwards with myself, but part of that is because I almost feel like today you have your content creation, actually creating content. Like you have that part of your focus, which can be streamers, but not every streamer is a content creator. I say that because I don't feel, as a streamer, I don't feel like I'm a content creator. I feel like streaming is the part where I get to connect with my community. I get to directly interact with you all. I get to enjoy, indirect conversation, or many times direct conversation through Discord calls or things like that on the stream, or have an opportunity to actually, invest time with you guys at the same time. And that's what I think streaming has become for me, whereas my content creation is my YouTube, my Twitter. It's an exchange, or it's a situation where I create something and I wait for a response from you, right? Or I wait for you to view it at a later date. Whereas again, streaming is a direct interaction. And it sounds really weird for me to kind of put it in that mindset and try to explain that out loud. Like, I don't yet know, or I don't think I know yet exactly how I want to word that and how I want to explain that. But it's really something that I've been trying to push on myself to really understand and try to put into words a little better. I don't know. It's still a very fresh idea, and it's still a fresh perspective for myself that I'm trying to get out there. But I think once we get that position, you have a better understanding of what the expectation is. You have a better expectation of what the engagement is going to be between the two different cultures. To step back to TikTok, like we were talking about just a minute ago, right? To step back to TikTok, I don't think I'd make a good content creator for TikTok. I know a lot of people are very good at it. A lot of people love things like that. But I have struggled to come up with just any kind of idea, even taking my existing content and spinning it into short things specifically for TikTok. I just don't have a way to do it. The way that I engage with my content, albeit microphone stuff, I don't have a way to transcribe that into a video, into a 60-second video. Is it 60 seconds? That's how long a TikTok can be? I don't even know how long a TikTok can be. I think it's only about 60 seconds though. So, I think TikTok can be a beneficial platform to a lot of people who do certain things. If you get a lot of clips, for your content, then I really feel like just finding ways to recreate clips or recreate your highlight reels and your funny moments in TikTok is an amazing thing, because those are things. People create clips because they enjoyed something you did, right? Or they want to make you laugh, or there's an inside joke about your stream that they want to post in Discord later. Like, that is a part of your community actually engaging with you indirectly and saying, hey, we really liked this part of your stream. And if you can take those moments and build a TikTok community around clips, then you have something to bring them back to for your stream, because they understand that what they saw in the clips is going to be a part of your stream. So it's interesting to kind of consider that. I'm not a clip bait. I'm not a clip baiter. I don't know. I do some funny things on stream, but I don't do a lot of really craziness. I don't do a lot of like ridiculous stuff on stream sometimes. So it's a little different, I think, in the way that I engage with you all while streaming versus the content portion. That there's a portion of TikTok that I think people have an opportunity to really do a lot, and people have an opportunity to really gain some great impressions. Right? So I was talking on Twitter. I was analyzing Twitter earlier today. And part of my analysis on Twitter was back and forth some discussions about impressions in social media. So I've been a huge component or a huge advocate to say that people need to stop concerning themselves so much with follower count, right? They need to stop thinking like, if I get 1,000 followers, I'm going to be successful. If I get 2,500 followers, I'm going to be successful. If I get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to be successful. If I get, 1,000 followers on TikTok, I'm going to be successful. If I get 5,000 on Twitter, I'm going to be successful, right? Like all these social media platforms, followers can matter when it comes to things like engagement rate, right? Or the opportunity for engagement. But the real metric that people need to really be looking at is impressions or views. Right? So on TikTok, it's not the number of followers you have, it's the number of views you get per video. Same thing on Twitter. It's not the number of followers you have, it's the number of times your tweet gets viewed. It doesn't matter. Likes don't matter. Retweets don't matter. It's number of impressions. So you need to find ways to grow impressions. And I used to kind of laugh at TikTok. And I don't want to say I laughed at TikTok, right? Because I didn't. But I used to say that TikTok wasn't a good platform for streamers because impressions were high, but the engagement rate was low, right? The return on investment wasn't enough on a regular basis. And I have to go back and kind of slap myself on the cheek or on the wrist or whatever, slap myself on the wrist and say, what are you doing, Chris? You are continuing to go off and tell people that impressions matter and impressions are important, but then you turn around and tell them not to do what they can do to get the most impressions. If TikTok is giving you a ton of visibility and a ton of ability to get noticed, leverage it. The return on investment may not be as good as Twitter or YouTube, but if you're good at it and you have the ability to make it work, do it. Like, I can't sit here and be the one to say that shouldn't work for you or that's not going to work for you, right? Because it can, it should, it might, right? And it might is always the trick. Beaker, you mentioned earlier, it's always about luck. It's always about luck. And you are so right. We are all so right. Streaming and being a content creator is a lot about luck. Yes, you have to be good. You have to be able to retain that luck, retain that viewership when you get it. But it's the amount of work you put in, and you have to create the luck. So if you're good at TikTok, create your lucky point. Create your part. Create content that generates an opportunity for you to get lucky. That's what I would say with that. Like, I don't want to be the one to say that TikTok's not going to work, and I'm going to stop saying it. Shame on me for saying it before, because now I'm seeing people, I am seeing people use it, and they're doing really well based on it. Now, they are still considered the exceptions and not the rule, but an exception still counts when it comes to reality. People are still growing using it. The inference there was that Beaker mentioned that he's getting started on TikTok, and he's just kind of getting his way into TikTok and starting to use it. And I was kind of going back on my previous statement about how I was not berating streamers, but just saying that I don't think TikTok is the best platform for streamers to try to leverage. And I need to step off of that high horse and stop giving that information to content creators or streamers, because that's not my place. There's been enough exceptions. To say that this could work. Why don't you go and try and be an exception? Like, it's still new enough. Go be the exception. Make it the rule. Do it enough to where it becomes the rule. Right? Like, that's the way we should be thinking about this. If it's already become the rule, then you're too late. Put it that way. That's the way we should think about that. If it's already become the rule, then you're too late. I shouldn't say it like that, but you have to work that much harder. Nathan, I don't think any social media should be something you expect growth from because the format is exceptionally different between platforms. Can it help? Absolutely. Do it. Should you expect that your 10,000 TikTok followers will all come over to Twitch? Definitely not. And that's kind of what I was saying, Nathan, is I think there's a point. I think there's a point where you come to it and you say, like, maybe, you know, what's the rate of return for TikTok? Maybe for every 100,000 views, you get a viewer. I have no idea. I have no idea what the rate of return is, but it's definitely a platform of leverage, right? And I think we just need to find, eventually you find the right situation which creates the right circumstances. And I don't think we found that yet. But the person who does is going to have an amazing opportunity to really get engaged and get out there. Now, Beaker, I will say that your example of that, what was it, Jordy 2D? That is getting recognized. That is well, you said that he was getting viewers before Tim found him. Okay, his average viewership. Did his average viewership grow because of TikTok, or did his TikTok grow because of his average viewership? It's one of those, like, depends on if they went hand in hand or if he had a huge TikTok following and then started streaming. I think there's a disconnect there between how people grow on TikTok and how that correlates to their streaming content too. Because again, since TikTok is a 1-minute funny video that you pre-record and you get to repeat and you do like reverse loops and you do all these other kind of crazy things, I think it's really hard to replicate that in a live stream, right? You can't replicate a lot of the stuff, like the switch thing, right? And like the way they make like batteries explode or like get put back together or different things like that. Like all the like really cool, like, you know, like mind breaking videos, right? All the mind bending kind of stuff where it's like, look at this crazy thing I did, right? And it's actually like playing in reverse or whatever, or it's a time lapse of something happening. They can't recreate that on streaming. So you got a lot of those people that are very creative with stuff like that, but then they come to a live content and they don't know how to transfer that type of information to live content. I think that's a very, very important thing when it comes to spreading diversifying your content, right? Diversifying what you create, but not diversifying your brand. You know, diversify your content in where you create content, not necessarily what your brand is about, right? If you're going to go make TikTok videos, like I mentioned earlier, I have a hard time finding ways to do TikTok videos because my brand is built around audio quality and tech stuff and things like that. Finding a way to make that translate to a TikTok video in 60 seconds is really, really hard. Like, it's like having the minute clinic for tech stuff, right? It's a cool idea and concept, but creating something that happens in 60 seconds is very, very hard when you're talking about tech videos and trying to explain what you're doing while you're doing it. So you have to find a way to do that, but still, again, correlate to your brand. If you're making Twitter content, you're posting a lot of videos on Twitter. If you're posting on LinkedIn, by the way, guys, LinkedIn is a very, very, very forgotten form. LinkedIn is a very, very strong form if you create how-to content or content that is related to somebody who is in a professional business environment. LinkedIn is a great source of information or great platform to post content to. So I'm gonna step back there a little bit. I'm gonna step back just a little bit and say, again, if you're going to choose to diversify your content on multiple platforms, just be sure that it sticks to your brand, right? Make sure that what you're doing and how you're stretching your content out continues to be in line with what your brand is going to do. If you're going to be a dancer, if you're going to be a stream dancer and you're going to play Let's Dance all the time, then by all means make TikToks about dancing. If you're going to do exercise videos, then by all means make TikToks about exercise videos. If you're going to, continue to go with, I'm trying to think about something else that would correlate to it. If you're going to do cooking streams, then do TikToks about cooking stuff. Great ideas. Things like that. Just make sure that you're correlating your content with your brand. Don't expect to do dance videos When on Twitch, all you do is play games. Don't expect those people that watch your dance videos on TikTok to come and watch you just sit and play games. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work at all. It's gonna be something that's just not going to be feasible.